handlooms been destroyed, and here is my conflict in my mind. Like I mentioned Milton Friedman yesterday as well. He actually comes to India in the 1970s or maybe 80s or something, and does a series on how the Indian government, by unnaturally subsidizing the handloom sector, has, to keep that handloom sector alive, has kept entire generations of people in poverty. That really got me thinking, because I was completely of this view also that the handloom sector is dying, our tradition whatever has to remain, but then came along this completely conflicting view, and I don't know how to deal with this. That are we
Yeah.
artificially keeping alive a certain art form, if I may call it an art form? It's uh, which is economically not viable, and we're keeping people in poverty by artificially subsidizing it. You see the point? And I don't know. I tend to buy that argument. While what has happened is that traditional handlooms were replaced in South Korea and in Japan, pretty much at the same time, and those countries progressed, if I may say so, quotes and progress. Progress in quotes, economically, while millions of people remained in. Charkha has become a. It's still called a symbol of national pride. I'm not too sure at this point. Is it national pride, or is it? It is a symbol of poverty at this point in time. I don't know, and I may sound obscene in this conversation, but
No, not at all actually,
I'm
Rahulji.
struggling with this.
This particular point about the unnatural subsidy, I agree with that part of the point, because what I've directly seen, not only with handlooms but all sorts of other things that have come under the ambit of government-sponsored craft, has in fact created an extremely unhealthy and deleterious culture of dependency. And that dependency has, in my view, I would agree, has been responsible for a lot of the ruin of the way a flourishing handloom sector would work in a society that appreciated both the product and the process and the holder of the knowledge that led to the process. To what you mentioned about Japan and Korea, for example, Japan and parts of Southeast Asia as well, where they have these fabric techniques, these fabric traditions called ramye, which is a kind of reed or a grass, which when treated properly and handled well, become fabric of a very, which have very rare, difficult to find qualities in terms of the fall, the luster and so on. And clothes and apparel made out of these are much sought after and become really objects of cultural status in that society. So naturally they are highly priced, and because they are highly priced, that price does in fact genuinely trickle back, I'd say does more than trickle back to the origin. And I think these are the kind of models that exist even in highly, advanced, so advanced relative Asia, which we have sufficient knowledge about, which we have direct experience about, which I see no reason why we can't do here in terms of the model for a huge variety of hastakala, but not only hastakala, even going beyond into our more direct, more hands-on interaction with the elements.